Hey guys, what's up? I am John Merritt from BornToProduce.com, a Steinberg certified training center, and in today's tutorial we're going to be looking at how to get better mixes by acoustically treating your home studio. So this is going to be a guide for people who want to improve their mixing environment but don't have the time or the inclination to get super anal about acoustic engineering and or the budget to hire pros to come and do it for you. There are a load of things that you can do which will have a positive effect on your mixing environment without having to measure the sound of your room with acoustic measuring mics and doing technical analysis. Now please be aware that I'm not trying to dissuade anyone from totally geeking out on this. Many people do, and they have a really fun time in the process. So if that's your thing, then totally go for it. I did myself the first time I set up my home studio, but I soon realized that it was almost pointless, as the main problems that the testing highlights are because of the fundamental properties of the room itself, which the only way to overcome is to put so much acoustic absorption in there that it almost becomes like an anechoic chamber, which, as we'll get to, is a very unnatural environment for mixing. So be aware, this is a quick guide, not a full-on acoustic engineering tutorial. We're going to deal with the practical side of things much more than the theory. So the ultimate or end goal of all of this is, of course, to get better mixes. So what do we need from our acoustic environment in order to get better mixes? Well, first and foremost, we need predictability, and second, we need accuracy, which kind of go hand in hand. With predictability and accuracy comes confidence, and with confidence comes better mixes. Of course, there are many factors which will affect your confidence, like your monitors, and most importantly of all, your experience and knowledge, but we're not here to talk about those. We're here to talk about room acoustics and how you can improve them. So our actual goal that we need to keep in mind is we want our acoustic environment to be as accurate and predictable as possible. To get that, we need as even a frequency response as possible. You don't want to mix in an environment that resonates too much sub bass, as you'll automatically compensate for that by lessening the amount of sub in your tracks and therefore making tracks that lack in low end energy, and vice versa for mids and high frequencies. So a balance of the frequencies is one of the goals that we want to achieve. The second thing is a sense of space, usually referred to as a soundstage, and in some respects can be seen as a balance between the direct sound, that's the sound that you're getting from your speakers going directly to your ears, and reflected sound, so that sound that has gone from the speaker, bounced off a surface of some description and then reaches your ear. The two extremes would be a highly reflective room where you're almost get as much sound being bounced off the walls as you do coming directly from the monitors. The other extreme would be an anechoic chamber where literally no sound is being reflected and the only sound you hear is coming direct from the speakers. Obviously, no one lives inside an anechoic chamber, but most people do live in pretty reflective environments, which is why 90% of acoustic treatment, especially in home studios, is absorbative, because we are trying to tame those reflections and get a more balanced and predictable soundstage. Now you might think that the deader the sound, i.e. the more like an anechoic chamber, the better, as if there is no room sound then it can't have a negative impact on your mixes, but this is simply not the case. You want as close to a balanced and natural sounding environment as possible. So as we were talking in this tutorial about home studios, there are going to be limitations that you just have to face. It may be that you're in a really small room, or that you have an oddly shaped room, or there is a lot of glass present in the room, or that the room is shared with another activity, like it doubles as your gym room or whatever. The list goes on and on. So we'll look at all the aspects that make for a good mixing environment, and you're just going to have to get as close to each one as possible. But just don't stress if you can't match it exactly. Like I say, some limitations you're just going to have to accept. But even if you get 30% closer to having the perfect mixing environment, then you would have already done a really good job. So in this tutorial, we're going to be looking at room size and shape and what to do about it, absorbers and bass traps, diffusers, monitors and positioning, mixing position, how to tame early reflections, and then we're actually going to build some acoustic absorbers DIY style.